Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, Corinne Lafont, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know, I always start my show being thankful. Oh, golly. And before I even start off that, I just wanted to let people know I was watching a video the other day, and this guy who went through depression and all sorts of things, it's a YouTube video. I can't remember his name now, but he spoke about, he gave some tips on really coming out, when you're coming out of depression, things that you can do for yourself. So he mentioned exercise, and then he mentioned having a gratitude journal every day, and the things that he does as a routine. And he said there's an app, and I never even thought about an app. So I immediately, after listening to him, I was like, damn, of course. I have a yoga app, which I use for breathing and relaxation and to help me with meditation. Why shouldn't there be a gratitude app? So immediately after listening to that, I went on and added a gratitude journal app. So every day, like when I'm traveling or wake up in the morning or anytime I'm in a mood, I just sit down and go through things and just type and my thoughts. And it's amazing how it really changes your perspective. And there's one particular aspect of it, one in particular I want to point out, that helps you to just change your perspective on something that you may be going through at the time. So something that you may feel it's troubling to you, you can't see a way out. It helps you to mind shift that, for you to look at what can you gain, what can you learn, how can you become a better person from this particular situation. So you start looking at the whole situation positive and feeling better about it at the end. I find that so invigorating. So I love doing that particular aspect. So I wanted to just share that with you. And so I am so thankful today to be here again. Another day, I get another chance to do over new graces, new mercies. The weather is still overcast. We're having some iffy weather. I call it iffy weather here in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, actually. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know here, and it's still beautiful. I still enjoy it because I see the positive in it. It rains. I enjoy the rain. I enjoy the lightning. I enjoy the thunder. I am here to experience that. The people who are gone are not able to anymore, and I'm here to enjoy that. And I'm here with a beautiful woman. She's fixing her cap. Meg Miller. I just absolutely love that cap. That's the cap that you wear when you don't want to comb your hair but look really hot. So that and just pray that nobody comes to take the cap off to see what's really hidden underneath there. Right?
No, thank you.
Right? So I have Meg Miller with me. She's wearing a beautiful yellow, which is so sunny and bright. Yeah, it's a beautiful color. And I'm going to tell you a bit about her. And listen, the topic we're going to talk about, I'm going to be laughing a lot, but I'm also going to be learning a lot. So I'll tell you a bit about that in a while. So Meg S. Miller, Meg Son Miller, S is for son, not true. Meg S. Miller is an influential speaker and multiple award-winning author with nearly a decade of writing experience. And she looks so young, she cannot have a decade. In her latest book, Benefit of the Debt, and debt here meaning DEBT, How My Husband's Porn Problem Saved Our Marriage, which is what we're talking about today. How My Husband's Porn Problem Saved Our Marriage. And that book came out April 28, 2018. Meg offers a unique perspective on porn addiction, which is a major, major activity that's happening in every form and fashion, bringing fresh insight, or flesh, I would like to play on that word, fresh insight into tackling sexual brokenness in Christian marriages. Miller, her husband Joe, and their 3 children live near Washington, D.C., where they own and operate an organic farm. I need to come over there. Learn more about Meg S. Miller at of course, www.benefitofthedebt, that's DEBT.com. Welcome, Meg, to Between the Lines.
Thank you, Corinne. I'm happy to be here.
I am ecstatic that you're here. I love that top. My eyes are just focusing on the yellow for whatever reason. I don't know. But I love it. So clearly the top and the cap, I expect it to come through FedEx to me in Trinidad and Tobago.
You eye out for it.
Okay, yes. So that's already one request. All right. So Meg, porn. Before we get to your husband's porn addiction, and I'll tell you something. I know people who are into porn. And I mean, I'm not going to discount myself from that. I've watched a couple of them. I'm an adult, for Christ's sake. So, of course, I would watch a couple of them. And, we justify the ego is going to say, I just watch it once a week. That's not an addiction. So I want you to discuss from a Christian perspective and a non-Christian perspective, I suppose. What would we classify as an addiction? Because some people will say, I don't really watch it a lot. I mean, I may use it when I'm probably intimate with my partner, or if I'm alone and my partner and I are separated because I'm away on business, and I have my sexual needs, or I'm alone, I'm single, and I don't have anybody in my life, and instead of me going out and get somebody on the streets, this is okay. So we say things to ourselves, our ego, which is something I've been bringing up in my shows a lot lately, because a lot of people don't realize that they are run by their ego and they're actually a walking ego that that tells you these things to make you feel confirmed within your spirit that, hey, it's okay. So let's start off with that discussion, your thoughts and this may not be facts for somebody else. Somebody may argue the point. That's okay. That's what the show is about. You give your own opinion. You're free to have your own opinion if you're listening and watching this, or whenever you decide to. But this is what we are discussing right now. So we're hearing Meg's view on this coming from a Christian perspective, as well as if we can purport a non-Christian perspective.
Well, first of all, thank you for being willing to tackle such a topic and question those common thoughts that come into our mind that we simply usually just trust, because they are self-centered and self-serving, those thoughts, where I've worked hard and I just need a little distraction. My question to anyone with those thoughts right now, that pornography doesn't hurt anyone, how is it going for you? Are you fulfilled with your side pleasure? Does it reach those deep, deep needs of yours, or does it put a Band-Aid on a big, big wound? My question for you would be, does it work long-term, or is it a short-term solution? How are your relationships with that as a factor? How would your relationships be without that as a factor? And have you heard anything to the contrary that might go against those thoughts? Have you heard anything that resonates with you? For example, you're made for more than this, and the people that you're objectifying are people, and that this is a systemic problem, and when you do support that industry, you're supporting a lot of crime and a lot of systemic hurt.
I'm not committing any crime. I'm not committing any crime. Nobody died as a result of me watching. I mean, I just go online, pull up the site, enjoy myself. What do you mean by objectifying? I mean, I enjoy myself. Of course, the pleasure I feel helps to release me. It's a distraction. It may be temporary, but that's all I want. I just want that temporary feeling of pleasure and distraction. I don't want it all the time, which is why I'm not addicted.
Okay, so my answer is someday you will want more. Someday you'll want someone to know you and to love you in spite of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, not just what's on screen. So someday you'll want to be loved more than you're loving that image. And when that happens, I would encourage you to come back to this interview, because we're going to talk about because we're going to talk about the deeper needs and the people that you don't think are involved. For example, your children, or who might live with you or find the material that you're consuming accidentally before they're developmentally ready for it, or your spouse who is busy doing other things and is affected, whether or not you realize it or want to know that right now. When that does happen to you and you want more than what you're getting right now or giving yourself right now, when you want to enter into a mutual relationship that's give and take and includes some pain and victory, come back to this interview, because we will be here. We will be able to.
Yeah.
This is going online, so we will keep it up for you, because that is an inevitability because of the way humans are made. We're made for a lot more than sex.
Yes. Well, that's a statement that somebody might argue, and they might say, "What? A lot more than sex? All there is sex." I mean, if I'm with someone and they can't offer me sex, why am I having them around? Um, that's what it is.
Sure.
It's about sex, and I can have multiple partners. I'm never satisfied with one. I need to have multiple partners. What do you mean I'm looking for more? I will ultimately need more. Yeah, I may, as I get older, start to reflect and look at my life. I think everybody does that at some point, and I may want more, but I might be like, I've lived, what I thought living was, I've lived, and I mean, been there, done that. I've been through several types, races, genders even of people sexually, and um, yeah, I'm good.
Okay, and to that I would say then you're treating yourself as just a body and not a heart and soul. There are going to be times, a lot of big tragedies in the world, when a big earthquake happens and people lose people they love, or a terrorist attack occurs and people start to rethink, what am I doing every day, just going to work and going through the motions?
Mm,
That's when they call into question those motives that you're talking about, where you feel fine until something happens.
yes,
And
yeah.
when you have that scary diagnosis and there's no one around,
Mm,
or when that earthquake happens and you're left to think only about the relationships that you have built over those years and there's nothing there. When that happens to you, then you will start to think, hey, maybe I'm more than just my reproductive parts and my pleasure. Maybe I'm more, maybe there's a heart and a soul to me. And if there is a heart and soul to you, then you have locked it away, which is fine for now, but it starts to change. And so if you'd like to unlock it now and let it out, to be hurt, to be known, and to enjoy all the fullness of relationship, not just sex, but relationship with that sex and with intimacy, then let it out now and start to question those thoughts of yours, because there's another side to the story and it's worth exploring. Trust me.
yeah, well, I don't want to be hurt, Meg. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to go through that. And hence the reason why I live the life that I live. Right? I don't want to be facing those things. And what are you talking about unhealed wounds? I mean, I'm good. There's nothing hurting me. I'm in a job. I'm paying my bills. I'm taking care of my family and children. I mean, yeah, I'm hustling every day. I wish my life was better. And, I look at some other people and they may be able to travel more and stuff. And yeah, I envy them and I want to be able to travel more and do more stuff. But this is just my life. I can't change it. This is what it is.
Well, if you do look around and you do start to ask questions of those people you do admire, the people who have families or have long-term friendships with people of the same sex or opposite sex that are fulfilling, um, ask them those questions. Say, why would I need anything more than what I have right now? These one-time flings and multiple sexual partners and no commitment. Why would I ever want anything different? And they'll tell you, yeah, it does hurt, but the benefits and the emotional fulfillment is worth every little heartache that comes your way.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, I was having a conversation with, when I was traveling yesterday, and I'm saying to the guy next to me, I said, listen, people are so unconscious. They just are not aware. I look at people when I'm walking on the street, when I'm sitting, eating, and I'm like, everybody's just on a damn hamster wheel.
Yeah.
They're just going, 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 and they're just not. I used to be there. It's not, and I'm not talking this because suddenly I am just awake and suddenly I'm conscious and looking at things differently now. I was there hustling, hustling, serving that false self, trying to attain that thing, whatever that is, which I still can't figure, that that you're going after because it keeps eluding you, you
Right.
know. eluding and evading you. When you think you're so close to getting it, it's gone. And you're like, oh my God, I need to work harder again. And I need to do this. I need to do that. And you're like, really? Like, why? Why? Isn't there something more than this? That is always the question.
Yeah.
There must be something better.
Yeah.
This cannot be it.
Right.
Those are the words that I started to hear in my head. You sit down, you just stop, and you're like, no, there must be something better. This cannot be it.
No, it's not. That little voice is worth listening to. What if you indulge it for just a minute and say, whoa, what if there is more to this? Mm-hmm. What if there is more than instant gratification and self-gratification? What if there's more? What if when I give, I get? What if when I give more, what if when I invest in someone else, the return on that investment is way more than my own hustling for myself? What if?
Yeah. And you hear the what ifs, Meg. You hear the what ifs that you're asking. The what ifs that you're asking is not with a negative expectation.
Right.
Most people, when they say what if, it's like, what if a plane comes and just flies into the towers? What if I get into an accident? What if? No. Your what ifs is there's something bigger. There could be something better. It's with a positive, it's coming from a positive, introspective type of thing, and with a positive expectation. It's not with gloom and doom and negativity, which is what we tend to do.
That's right.
Yeah. So people are not looking at their lives in a way that there could be more, there could be better. But when they're thinking that, let's say they do think that, they're thinking that in terms of the materialistic things. They're thinking that promotion, I could get that particular promotion, or that particular job, or that particular man, I could get that man. I can win that award. I can have that particular car. In terms of the better, in terms of the more. But then when you get the car, you get the man, you get the promotion, you get the job, you move into the house, what's next?
There's always, you won't be satisfied with it if you're doing it just for you.
What's next? So you get that, and you expect that woo, I'm supposed to be on top of cloud 9, beyond cloud 9. And you're like, you might feel good at the moment, the night, you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm still the same. Nothing has really changed. I am not on a super high every day.
Right.
And then you're looking for something else to fill that void, which comes back to those unhealed wounds you're talking about. Why it is that you keep searching for something to fill, because people are not realizing that they're looking for something external to fill something that's missing within them.
Right.
Yeah?
It's a great tragedy. It's a great tragedy when somebody silences those voices, the what if, the expectation, the little child inside that's like, there's got to be more than this.
Yeah, we do, I tell you, I've been there, Meg. I have silenced it, shut it up, and it screams.
Yeah.
I am telling you, it screams. Yeah, it comes to a point, it's like you shut it up, but it's still there. You still hear that little meeky little thing. And there are sometimes when you hear it scream at you so loud, it's like somebody outside of you screaming, At least, I don't know what anybody else experienced, but I could tell you, I hear that voice screaming at me, don't, Corrine, don't. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. And there are times you just feel something move within your chest, right in the middle of your chest. You just feel something move. Just like how a slight ripple in water. You just feel something move. That's my experience. Or I might feel something in my head. Like yesterday, I just felt something like a ripple in my head, in my brain, in my head. And I'm like, whoa, what is that? Something is either sensitivity to something or I don't know, I can't explain it.
But it makes you question right away all the superficial things that you've been relying on. for your own satisfaction. When something like that happens, often you can just go about your day and try to forget that happened, or try to forget that voice.
Mm.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it's you. You can't run from yourself, you know.
No.
As much as you can run. Where I'm reading Eckhart Tolle's book, and I remember he said, and I watch his videos and stuff, and he's like, wherever you go, there you are. Anytime I'm reading his stuff, I start to laugh. I'm like, I'm rolling, and I'm like, what the hell? Wherever you go, there you are. So it's like, I'm gonna leave Meg behind. She's bothering me, and I'm gonna just drive away. And there is Meg again.
That's right.
And it's like, I can't get rid of you. I just find it so funny. It's like, I can't get rid of you. You're still here. Right?
Yeah.
So no matter where you go. That's why. So why run? Stand up and face yourself. You cannot run. You cannot run from yourself. So as much as you try to shut up that inner voice, which is your real you, your true self, your inner child, it's gonna come back.
Yes, it will.
Because it's not dead. The only way it would be dead is if you are physically dead. And even if you're physically dead, your inner being is still there. Spiritually, it's still there.
Yeah.
So even if your form dies, your body dies, your spirit is still there. People don't realize that. And I think what is happening as I talk to you more, people are running from themselves. They actually don't want to deal with themselves. The fear is so much, Meg. They are scared as opposed to, yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid of. There's only a hurt child in there. And I think people fear, oh no, another child in my life. It's not like that at all. It's you.
Yeah.
So if you nurture and you take care of that inner child that has a childhood wound, and I'm not saying an abusive thing, just the way of coping with the harsh world that we live in. If you take care of that child and let that child question the norms of an adult life in today's society,
Yeah.
you might find some truth.
Oh yeah. You have to question everything. Just this morning, I read, I'm doing the 30-day ACIM, A Course in Miracles with David. Oh my God, I was in tears. This man has me in tears every day. And I'm on day 25, but I missed day 24, which was yesterday. So I went back to that, and that is what I was crying about. Yeah, and they said the same thing, about just facing your fears. Yeah, facing your fears. Don't run, and the thing about it is, your inner being has no fear. When fear doesn't exist, it is something that the ego has made up to keep you there.
Right.
To keep you there, because it will do whatever it takes to survive, to maintain its status within you. Yeah. So we have to be able to deal with, and it's not real. What the hell? The damn fear is not real. It's all an illusion. And coming back to that guy in the video that I talked about that dealt with depression, he said he had this mind chatter, we call it monkey chatter, going on in your head. And he was like, for months he would just have this thing, and then he realized, wait a minute, what? They're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. And you could just watch them like you're sitting in the park, eating popcorn, watch them like people passing by. It can't hurt you. It means nothing.
Don't let them overtake everything.
No, it's just thoughts. They mean nothing. Stop attaching to the thoughts.
Yeah.
They mean nothing. And after that, he realized, whoa, I've been suffering with this thing all these years, and all I needed to do was this. And he thought that when people were talking about mindfulness and becoming aware like we are, that they were all woo-woo. This is all mumbo-jumbo. What the hell? But he said it just broke that disorder in him immediately. That now he watches his thoughts like they're clowns, which is what I do. I just watch them. When I realize that my mind starts to go into the monkey chatter, I just sit back and like, Oh, really? That's what you're up to? Okay. And I just watch it. I just watch it. But with pornography, I want to come back with that. How do you see it? You know, I love the questions that you pose in terms of the addiction for persons to really look inward to ask themselves those questions to determine if it's really an addiction or not to them. And
Mhm.
Meg, even if they feel it is not, that's fine. You know, like you said, at some point, the reality, the realness is going to hit them.
Mhm. Right.
But with your husband, normally pornography will break up a marriage, and it almost did for you. How did you reach your husband for him to realize that pornography is not a good thing?
Well, I was so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women are hurt by
Of
this as
course.
opposed to, a smoking or drinking addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so hurt that it actually woke me up out of that mindlessness.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so hurt that I was surprised by my hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, my hurt, like those thoughts, they don't have to overtake you. Those thoughts overtook me. Like he's rejecting me,
Mm-hmm.
and and the evidence is right there that he would rather do that than be with me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I couldn't easily refute the thoughts. They
Mm-hmm.
were they were pretty strong. And this is a very common scenario, especially in Christian marriages, where
Of
men are
course.
supposed to be a different way according to what, many stigmas believe about Christian men. They're supposed to be clean or kind or not attracted to, and that's just garbage. Of course
Of
they're
course.
attracted. That's what I believed. I thought he was a leader in the church, so I expected so much more of him. I expected
Wow.
him to be
Yeah.
a role model and a teacher of
Mm-hmm.
righteousness,
Of course, a spiritual leader. Come on. Mm-hmm.
I was so angry and so hurt that I felt, and it went on for a long time. So I felt myself going from hurt to I started becoming resentful, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a different kind of feeling. That's not the same as hurt. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started, anger. It was like someone died in our marriage. It was so sad. It was so terrible. And in my book, I don't negate those feelings for other women, but I do explain them. It's
Mm-hmm.
very possible. I was praying one day, and in a rush of insight, I realized the reason I'm so hurt is because I believe I have done nothing wrong to damage our marriage, and that was false.
Mm-hmm.
My tendency to hurt my husband looks very different than his. His tendency is to look elsewhere for his sexual kicks.
Mm-hmm.
My tendency is to control him. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized in just one life-changing moment that my tendency hurts him just as much as his hurts me.
I'm not getting that. I mean, you came from a point of feeling that he would rather spend time on porn, watch other women, get his kicks off of that release as opposed to being with you, which I mean is a normal feeling because he's married to you. You're supposed to be the apple of his eye, the attention. If he feels, to be intimate, you should be the one that he comes to. So you feel rejected, abandoned, and all of those different feelings. So what do you mean that you are hurting him? Really?
No, not that I caused him to go look elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but just that what if here, like that same what if in an expectation. I was praying. This is how I prayed. I said,
Mm-hmm.
show me something I don't know, because I can see all the facts here. I can see that he's not spending time with me. He's doing that instead,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to want me. I see all the facts. There's
Mm-hmm.
got to be another fact, some kind of nugget of information. I'm very logical, and I don't like letting my emotions get overrun me and the whole household. We've got
Mm-hmm.
3 small children.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was feeling mommy's anxiety. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was praying, give me one more piece of information that will change everything. And I believe God did. I believe he gave me the information that my husband is hurting just as much. But the rejection looks different to him. And it's true. I was controlling him, and I was angry with him, and I was disapproving. I was critical. I wanted him to change. I didn't care about myself or focusing on myself or changing anything about me. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
him to shape up. And
Yeah.
that hurt him. Not that it caused him to go do something bad, not that it caused him to be addicted to something else, but that it hurt him. And as soon as I realized I had hurt someone, compassion filled my heart, and it pushed out all the anger. There was no room. There was no room. So you say, how did it happen? You don't understand that. Where's the connection between going from one extreme of being hurt and angry, understandably, justifiably hurt and angry, to suddenly feeling so much compassion and love and concern for my husband's, all of us. Poor guy didn't know what to think of me. I was suddenly cared for him again, and I wasn't repulsed by him or disgusted. I was worried about him and wanted to make amends for what I'd done. He's like, what is going on? And so I said, what if you're hurting just as much as I am? And it took a while for him to admit, yeah, I am. You've been really mean, Meg. Can you please be careful? Men receive messages differently than women. When we collaborate in the household and I say, hey, this is the way to do that, you can fill the dog food a little bit less so that we can save more money. Don't wear those shoes outside, it's raining, use a different pair of shoes. When I'm harping on him all day, even if it's just collaboration, in my opinion, he can start to feel at the end of the day, boy, she's been on my case a lot. And that hurts. It's not just annoying, it's painful. And if that's a little child in there, I don't want to be doing the damn. I want to be nurturing that child. Not so that he'll change his behavior and start looking more to me for his sustenance. No, just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I picked up from what you're saying that we all carry an inner child, and even though we look like adults and we are expected to behave like adults, we have to realize that there is an inner child. And when you meet people, you don't know what you're meeting. When they show you, when you're courting, they show you the best of themselves. Yeah, they show you the best. I mean, you're on show, you're on interview, right, for the job of selection, right, right. Yes, of course. So it's all a nice play, and you do what you have to do to capture the woman and capture the man. But after that, and it's always something that is said after the marriage. After that, she changed. After that, he changed. No, you're actually seeing the real person now.
Right.
Because it was all a game, if you want to call it, of, a challenge of trying to get the person. So you put on all the best, display that you can to be able to get it. And now that you have, there's no need to display anymore. So you start shedding that mask, and then you start showing up. So we have to realize that there's an inner child in every one of us. And even though while you are hurt, and he's doing something that is, obviously wrong, you realize that your reaction to him was more coming from a controlling way. Don't do this. Why are you doing this to me? You're hurting me, and chastising him, I suppose. It came across as chastising. And men do speak a different language. I mean, they did that in the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. We do speak a little, well, we may be speaking the same language, but we hear it differently. And we know this because the men keep complaining. Why am I not, what it is? Why you cannot understand what I'm saying? It's pretty simple. They will speak to a man to man, and they would understand. But man to woman, it's like, God, she's so difficult, So for you to reach to that point and to ask God to show you one way. You didn't say, show me ways. You said just one. I just want one. You didn't ask him for plenty. You just said just one. I see the facts. And that's a good approach, because you're saying, I see the facts. I know the facts. So I need something else. Just give me a little bit more information to kind of to make me have a shift here, to help me to understand. I need something. Just give me something to help me to understand. There must be more to this, which is coming back to what we said initially. There must be more to this. There must be more. And the fact that you sought it, you didn't just stay in your position, angry, resentful, rejected, abandoned. You are like, no, there must be more. And that must come from a place of love, Meg. If you did not love him, you would not be seeking. You would just give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would just give up and say, well, clearly he's into porn. Well, let him stay where he is and do what he has to do. And I don't need this. I could find somebody else who will be into me, which is another aspect of your inner child too, because you're hurt. The fact that you're hurt is also saying there are unhealed wounds in you. Why are you feeling rejected if he is looking at other women and wherever, getting off on that? Why are you hurt? What it is within you
Yeah.
that you're feeling hurt about?
Yeah.
Because the fact that your those feelings are swelling up inside of you says something. You're not supposed to be bothered about certain things. If you're sitting well and grounded in yourself, you're not supposed to be bothered by anything. No. Wow. So how has things been? Tell us about that journey since that discovery, since that enlightenment, that insight came from above, or within, I should say, because we always say it comes from above. Um, how has things been, that journey? How has things been for you and him? And I want you to keep in mind that persons may be listening to this who are married, who are going through the same thing. They don't have to be married, they could be in a relationship. They could find themselves watching the porn together because one party has taken on what the other party has convinced them to do because they think it's fun and it adds value to the relationship. I want you to bear in mind that those sort of scenarios or contexts when you're responding so that persons can know that it's not really healthy for one or the other or both. It may be temporary,
Right.
but it's not something permanent. And are you, just like we said earlier, are you really looking for temporary or are you looking for permanent? So, how has a journey been for you and your husband after that sort of insight?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have what I want now, and that's the ability for a storm to come and go, and I'm still standing.
Mm. And we all, especially women, we're standing, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole world is talking now about sexual assault
Mm-hmm.
and sexual misconduct
Yeah.
on of men and women who have started as children looking at pornography before they were developed mentally enough to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
When a child starts looking at anything inappropriate or explicit before they're fully developed, a physiological and psychological wound is established that if it's not dealt with, it will turn into something else. And
Wow.
it could turn into something different for everybody, but many women watch pornography because their husbands encourage them to along together.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they enjoy it as much, but they're doing it for, they tell themselves they're doing it for that relationship so that to keep him happy. That's
Mm-hmm.
a very common thing. And eventually, again, there's a small child in everybody that will wound your inner child as well, because you're looking at people often hurting each other or doing things that make you uncomfortable sometimes
Mm-hmm.
for a temporary fix. And if you're in any kind of long-term strategy with your relationships whatsoever, any kind at all, I would encourage you just to sit with the silence of your own thoughts and think, what do I really want in 5 or 10 years? What do I want with my thought life? What do I want entering my brain when everything's quiet and I'm trying to get to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want those images, or do I want the laughter of a clean encounter? Do
Yeah.
I want the enjoyment and the safety of a pure, perfect intimacy that's divine, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, how did it turn out? It's great now, but only.
Ooh, you got stuck there for a moment. It froze. Uh, Let me just. Yeah, so we were talking about how things are now, Meg. So continue from where you were talking a while ago.
And it's funny because it depends on if the problem was my husband's behavior, then things are okay. But if the problem before was my perspective and I was limited in my perspective and could only see so many things, well, then everything is different now. Everything is much better.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how things really are and how much I need forgiveness as
Wow.
well as other people need forgiveness from me. So instead of thinking I have everything together and everybody needs to cater to my needs, instead now I think, how have I fallen short and let people down, and how can I make that right? What can I do
But
to
hold
make
on
that
there,
right? And
Meg. Hold on there, Meg. Hold on there, Meg. You, no, hold on. I'm going to be that voice again.
sure.
Hold on there, Meg. That means to say that you are taking responsibility for something that he's doing. You didn't push him to do it. You're
No.
taking on that responsibility. You're carrying that cross when he should be the one mm, to come and say, Meg, honey, darling, my wife, I am so sorry. I need to ask for forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
What are you asking for forgiveness for? For calling him out on what he's doing? Mm?
Oh, and I did. I called him out. Oh, and I did. I am a very creative person. So when I apply that to retribution or to revenge or to communicating disgust and repulsion, I'm very good at that. And I'm telling you,
I could see that. I
this
could see that.
this man was so hurt. Not that I was wrong. I was right. Everything I
Mhm,
said was right. But
mhm,
I did not need to do that.
mm.
I did not
No,
need.
what you did by calling him out and being so creative, like we said, on telling him how you felt and calling him out on it,
Yeah,
it hurt him. Why it hurt him? Because you said things to him that he knows that he's doing
right.
wrong. He
That's right.
knows. So you can't come to him and say, oh honey, I'm so happy that you're watching porn. It makes me feel so good. No, you told him off what he's doing, and what made it worse too is that he knows he's a leader in the church.
Mhm.
So he must feel bad because all those things are coming at him, not only from his wife. So he's starting to
Right.
see and feel thoughts, see and feel the thoughts within him. Oh my God, what am I really doing? I'm a leader in the church. These are the thoughts that are coming through his head, I'm sure. What example am I setting for my wife, for my family, for my children, for the people who are following me, for the people who are looking up to me? So what you did was absolutely right. You had to call him out on it. You can't be throwing a party and celebrating that.
I
You
was
can't.
totally.
He hurt
Yeah.
you. He hurt you, right? Because how could you be husband and wife and he's taking enjoyment in porn? It is a rejection. It is an abandonment. It is a disrespect to you, especially in a Christian home. So why are you, for heaven's sake, asking for forgiveness? He should be rolling in the dirt,
So
asking for forgiveness.
the name of my book is Benefit of the Debt, which to me means I'm better off having done something wrong and getting forgiveness from him for it than I'm better off in that position than before I ever did anything wrong. So when I beat him down with as many creative words as I could, and
Mhm.
I incurred a debt for myself, and he forgave that debt by saying, "Hey, I forgive you for hurting me." When he said that to me, we were closer than if he had never done anything wrong and if I had never done anything wrong. That's the benefit of the debt. And that's why pornography will always disappoint you. And so will a wife's determination to control her husband's behavior. That will always let you down, just like pornography lets him
But you let
down.
him off the hook. It's like you let
Yeah,
him off the hook, Meg.
just like he let me off the hook.
But you didn't do anything wrong, Meg.
I hurt him. I hurt him.
You hurt him by doing what? Calling him out? Calling him
Yeah.
out on what he's doing?
Yeah, I did more than call him out. I was angry and I was mean.
But you have a
So,
right to be angry. You have a right to be.
but do I want that? I don't want to be an angry person. I want to be somebody indebted to someone else so that we're both forgiving each other instead of both righteous.
It's either you're right or you're happy. Choose one. That is what Eckhart Tolle says. What do you want? You want to be right or you want to be happy? Damn you, Meg Miller. Damn you. I was having fun. I was having fun arguing with you. I was trying to be right a while ago, and then you had to come up with that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a great feeling to be back on the same plane.
No. I was arguing with you. I was doing pretty well.
Yes, you were. You were doing great because I had all those thoughts in my head. I had all those same thoughts running through my head. I'm just doing the right thing by berating him. And
and I was doing pretty well, trying to make you feel bad for asking for forgiveness, and you're doing the right thing. What the hell are you telling me about asking for forgiveness when he's the one, right? and then of course you had to come with this mindfulness thing, and then remind me of what Eckhart Tolle said. He would be so disappointed in me if he was sitting right next to me. He would say, Corinne, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Mm-hmm.
Especially in relationship.
Yeah. But that's what we are here for. In this form, we're not here to be alone, Meg. We're here for relationships. Whether it's personal, intimate, work, it doesn't matter. We have to interact. We have to coexist with another human. So it's all about relationships. And do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And we know that most people are right. We know that most people are right.
And angry.
Yeah. Most people are right and angry. and that doesn't really feel good now that I think about it. I'm right. No, I'm right. Yeah. And so you're angry. And yeah.
No, not me. I'm not going to settle for that anymore.
That is a significant lesson right there,
Yeah.
And that is a significant lesson, Meg, in any marriage. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? From the time you say that, I think that just dissipates everything. It's over. Game over. Yeah.
So you asked, how have things been since then? Well, it depends on whether the problem was. How have things been since then? Well, I do better. I'm going to harp on myself and force myself to be better, because as you can see the joy in my life versus the people who are still hurt and angry and right. Mm-hmm. So I'm living proof there's a better way. If you beg God for that one piece of information that will change everything. It took me a while, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I did search, and you brought that up a couple times. You said, mm-hmm. I sought it, and I really did. I was seeking for a long time for that one piece of information that would change everything. I knew there was more to life than being right and angry.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Oh, the internet is giving us some challenges today. I think it doesn't like what we're talking about, but that's okay. I want to feature your book and your website. I want you to give me the website.
Yeah, it's benefitofthedebt.com.
Benefit of the, you're hoping I could spell. Hold on. Benefitofthedebt.com. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to share the screen. Let's see here now. Share the screen. There we go. And there you are. Lovely. Benefit of the Debt. How my husband's phone problem not ruined, but saved our marriage. Yeah. Lovely. I love this. And of course, it's on the bed sheets. Come on. Come on, Meg. Really? It's on the bed sheets. So how can people get a copy of your book here? Oh, they can get it on your website and they can get it on Amazon as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can they get?
You can also follow me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I tweet at Meg Miller Author,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and on Facebook,
Okay. Okay. I'm kind of
Facebook.com/.
scrolling through. I'm
Better
seeing here Gary Chapman says the woman who have a husband hooked on porn, this book may make you mad. No doubt, Meg Miller wrote it. It will also make you think. It may well give you a perspective you have never considered. It is not written out of an ivory tower. Meg Miller has walked the journey, and what God taught her will help you. Oh my goodness. Nice. Yes, and you look so cute here.
Oh, thank you.
No cap. No cap.
That was a better day.
That was a better day. Nice, nice. And of
Yeah.
course, you have a support group. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so what if you're a wife and you realize, oh, what if men are hurt differently and I have been hurting my husband? That's a group where we talk about that, and we talk about how to build up our families instead of tearing down our homes, and how we change that perspective instead of, because you can tell in your home when you want things to be better, so you try to control them to become better, and it just makes it a harsh environment. It's very confusing, and it's not easy, and you don't know how to get out. You don't know how to stop. It's difficult. Have you ever heard of men leaving wives because they couldn't stand the nagging anymore?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. They just hear nagging a lot, even when we're just trying to collaborate.
Yeah.
And so I put together a discussion group that we tackle this, where we talk about okay, listen, my husband just left the car door open while it's raining outside. How do I handle it without tearing him down? I don't want to, he already knows he did the wrong thing. So I don't need to do that. But I'm so angry, you know.
Or the toilet seat up, or the toilet seat down, or leaving dishes in the sink when I mean that, or taking off his clothes and just dropping them like duck stuff all over.
or he's angry, or he drinks, or some more even heavier stuff. I don't want to hurt my husband, but he is doing something very bad. So how do I navigate these things without hurting him more? He already knows he's doing something very bad, especially ignoring children or leaving the family. We tackle.
And then why is it bad? And then you have to look within yourself. It's not just looking at what he's doing, but you need to first look within yourself. Why is it hurting you? Why is it bad? Why is it bothering me? What is it that it's tapping into in me that I need to look at? Right. Start with you. Yeah.
We do that. That's where we do that in that group.
Love that. Great. So this is how you can get a copy of the book. And of course, it's on the bed sheets, people. Don't forget.
And you can contact me there too. That's how you can get a hold of me, because I very much love to hear everybody's story. It's funny, a lot of women have similar stories to mine, but they don't know how to write it down. And so they want to tell me about it, and I love to hear the stories. Or their stories are just getting started. Often they know they're angry and right, and they know they want to change but don't know how, so they reach out.
And I think that's the greatest lesson we can take from this. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? It's not really it's a no-brainer, really. But for some people, they may be like, I want to be damn right. I want to be, and that's okay. You be right, and let's see how long you can keep doing that. Continue being right. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you so much, Meg. I so enjoyed talking with you with all the glitches and everything. Yes, it was a pleasure. You in your little yellow top and cap that you'll be FedExing me. So, yes. So I so enjoyed talking with you. You actually reminded me of what I already knew in the sense of what Eckhart Tolle says. But sometimes, you need somebody to come back into your life and just remind you and just kind of whip you back into action. Remember this? Yeah. Because you see, we get so caught up in our everyday life hamster wheel and the thoughts and the mind chatter that we forget. And it's good to have that reminder. And this is why I love doing my shows. People come on my shows and they really help to keep me grounded, honestly, based on things that they say. They help to keep me grounded because they take me right back to where I need to be, remind myself. So thank you so much for sharing such an intimate but yet prolific topic that's happening now, you know, and has always been happening, but never seemed to be a problem. Well, to us, I guess they had a problem, but you couldn't talk about it. But now people are coming out and talking about it, which is good, you know. And for those people in marriages and relationships, now you have a way to resolve it, and you have somebody you can reach out to, Meg, who has lived it. Yeah, and it's not a matter just Christian, it's anybody. You're in a relationship, it doesn't matter. So she can help you get a copy of her book, support her, support yourself. It's not really about supporting Meg, it's supporting yourself. Yeah, and investing in you. So thank you so much, Meg Miller, for sharing.
Thank you.